On this episode of Axel Arigato Talks, I am joined by the brains behind London's big sweaty queer party, Adonis. It's only bloody Shay Malt.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not sweaty today, but...
Wow, if the light's not strong enough. How was your hollybobs? You just got back from Thailand.
Yeah, it's nice, so I'm kind of a little bit jaded.
Jaded?
Yeah, a bit jaded.
By the holiday?
No, not by the holiday, but by the travelling back. The holiday was lovely.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How long are you out there for?
I'm like 2.5 weeks.
God, that's a nice stretch of time.
It's nice, but not long enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit of the jet lag going on?
Yeah.
Physically here, but maybe not?
Yeah, mentally still there.
Do you know, the one thing about Thai, I've been a few times, but I think we don't talk about the King of Thailand enough.
Oh my God.
Have you seen the King of Thailand?
I've seen him many times, like, especially the Germany, the arrival in Germany.
With the crop top and the...
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So he wears like...
iconic.
Yeah, very iconic. It's like Jurassic Park sandals, a crop top, and then it's got a huge dragon back
Full tattoo.
Yeah.
And you know, he's got like a little Bichon Frise or some kind of dog that he made like the chief of the army.
Yeah. It's like Chief of the Air Force.
Yeah, something like that.
God, I'd love to see that in action. Yeah. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Pleasure.
Really good to have you here. So this season of Axel Arigato Talks is all about music and nightlife and community, which are pillars that the brand stand by. And you created a real phenomenon in terms of queer partying through Adonis. For anyone out there who's been living under a rock, can you break down what Adonis is and what it looks like today?
I mean, it's just like a gay party, I would say. That queer party that kind of was... I didn't realise at the time, but obviously was much needed in London. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's kind of hedonistic and anything goes really.
Yeah, when I knew you were coming on, I reached out to a few people that are like diehard Adonis fans.
Yeah,
ones that I always see going. One of them being Monroe Bergdorf.
Okay.
She wasn't a diehard fan, but she went on New Year's.
Yeah, I think she had a lovely time.
She did?
Yeah, I think so.
I was like, give me a sense of how it is. And she was like, I won't give you much, but what I will say is what happens at Adonis stays at Adonis.
Okay, that's a good...
She was like, you can quote me on that.
Yeah, that's a good one. But we wouldn't really be able to talk about anything today if I didn't let a few things up.
True. So, I mean, I've been a few times in my time. It's always a great fun, but something that you've said before and kind of the blueprint for Adonis is the fact that it's the people that make it what it is.
Yeah.
Music almost in a way comes secondary.
Yeah, I think they're probably both as important, but it is I couldn't imagine what it became, and that is because of the people that come there. They've kind of taken it and made it something far beyond my imagination, really. Because
there's like I was saying, there's diehard fans that it's... You always time it in a really good way. I remember after the pandemic, you had there was a queue around the block, wasn't there? And then like under the stroke of midnight, the doors opened, and it was like people were in tears. It was a real moment.
It was pretty nice. Yeah.
What was that night like?
I mean, it was like just one big general release, like a collective release.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'd been locked up for so bloody long.
Yeah,
it was really nice, but you know, it took me a while to get over it.
When you're at Adonis, I know that correct me if I'm wrong, but as and when you need to, you do like jump on and do a little set.
I mean, I used to like have a set, like a slot, but it's so hard because I try to put myself on a bit earlier on because, you know, like it's just easier to get it out of the way. But it's always at the time when your friends are like messaging you to try and get in, and like nobody cares what you're doing. Like it's all about them. Like, can they put their coat here, or can you get them out of the queue? Someone's forgot their ID. You know, just people being
just people.
People, yeah.
Blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
So the sort of origin story of Adonis. You were renting a studio, weren't you? And then you noticed a sort of venue across the street.
Yeah, there was a venue there was just this building, like a studio like this, kind of being worked on across the street, and it was like in the worst street in London, and in Seven Sisters.
Oh, Seven Sisters.
Like the street next to Fountain Road.
Uh-huh.
And it was so, I just found it so alien that they were doing, like, spending money on this street, because they were next to it is like this kind of rubbish site.
Chic.
And skips and stuff like that everywhere. The road stinks, like,
okay.
It's full of rats. Yeah. And they opened a club there.
That's London.
It was mental. So I was like, you know what, this is mental, but I'm going to I'm going to do a
So
party there.
they were building like a venue for a potential club night, and you thought, let me come along and do
Yeah,
it.
they opened a venue there. It was called 5 Miles.
Yeah.
Because it was 5 miles from
Civilization.
life.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe it's a good idea.
So then you did. Is it right that you did like 3 nights there?
Yeah, we did like two or 3 nights there.
Mm-hmm.
We did 2 kind of good ones, and then the third one was just a disaster. It was on New Year's Day, and I was like, I'm never doing a party ever again. Like, I just can't, because we
Why was it so much of a disaster?
didn't sell any tickets. The security and the bar staff didn't turn up to work because it was like New Year's Day.
So
It
they
was
were
just
out on their own jolly, and they forgot
yeah.
they
So
were-
there was like about 30 of us there. We had a brilliant time because we just had the run of the place, but
yeah.
financially it was a disaster. And I just thought, this is a mugs game.
But people had a good time.
People, yeah, like
Okay.
the 30 of us, yeah.
Okay, well that's something. And then the first time I went to Adonis when it was at the Cause, which I think the days there have a bit of a legacy.
Yeah.
What prompted the move to the Cause, and how did you find it? So what I really want to ask you, because you seem to be a bit of a master of it, is knowing when a venue is right, and sort of going and viewing a blank canvas and imagining the crowd and imagining the sort of atmosphere that can be conjured there. What was that like, finding the Cause?
I mean, I'd love to agree with you, but it wasn't like that at all. It was just kind of...
Am I kind of romanticising
Yeah,
the whole
you
thing?
are, but it sounds great.
Oh,
But
great.
it was just like, it just happened naturally because I was like, I'm never ever going to do a party again. After that, I didn't want to do it again. I'm just going to get a job.
Yeah.
And then the people that went on to open the Cause, they had another party. They do like warehouse parties around London.
Yeah.
So they asked me if I would like host a room there.
Mm.
So we did that for a couple of times.
Mm.
And then they were like, we found this venue in Tottenham. Maybe you should do a party there. And I was like, do you know what? I'll give it one more go.
Yeah.
And then that was like the start of it, really.
God.
So it was kind of luck more
Divine
than
timing.
more than anything else.
God. And so it's got a new space now on Dock Road.
Yeah, which is the same people who run the Cause.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like a bit of a stopgap because hopefully they've got something else coming as well.
All right.
Can't say
It's
anymore.
kind of
but-
cool if it's almost like a travelling show and it keeps moving around.
Yeah, it's been a bit stressful. but-
Okay, yeah. I can imagine that side's a little bit stressful.
Yeah, but it's been... What was really nice is when the Cause closed, I thought, God, like that's it, the end of it.
Yeah.
And we moved went to a few places that didn't work just quite as well, and then some worked really well. It's kind of, you just don't know whether you're coming or going, really.
Yeah.
So this place has still got that Cause energy. Like, it's a dump, really. It's,
But that's the best way to do it.
yeah. And,
No frills.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I go, I tend to be in the smoking area most of the time.
okay, do you? Yeah.
That's my I think in any club I go to, I love a good chinwag and a smoking
I mean, the
area.
Cause had a really good smoking area.
Yeah,
didn't
it was
That's
phenomenal.
what some clubs miss. Some clubs are just like a bit of Harris fencing on the street.
Yeah, and I
But
think
you could stay in that smoking area all night.
very
if you wanted to
comfortably.
call.
Yeah, and the beauty of the smoking area is, you make sort of best friends that you think for life, and then you never see them again.
Yeah, just watch their stories on Instagram for the rest of
Yeah, and
eternity.
they'll be like, do you know what? He doesn't deserve you. And then you walk, you get a cab home, you're like, I can't remember a thing about that.
Yeah.
So you're a bit of a pro when it comes to parties and events. Would
I
you say
think-
that?
I'm like a pro at partying.
Oh, you
I
are?
feel like that's
Okay.
kind of... It was like my destiny to end up doing this because all I'd done before that was
Party.
really, yeah. So I've got some good experience in it.
So would you say you first cut your teeth on the sort of clubland nightclub scene when you were living in Bristol?
Yeah, I mean, in Bristol, I really kind of got into nightlife
Of it all.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm from a small town with like one club, so it definitely wasn't there. When I moved to Bristol, I was like, wow, this place is like amazing.
What's clubbing in Bristol like?
Gay clubbing is not good.
Okay. Is it a bit, I imagine it, tell me if I'm wrong, but is it a bit like Liverpool where they do have like a cluster of gay clubs, but they're really like tacky?
Yeah, the clubs are like... I mean, when I first moved there, it was a little bit better. And then they kind of, one company, a bit like GAY, bought all of the clubs and they called it OMG. And they've just like all of the clubs are just called OMG, and they're like GOY basically.
So there's multiple, and they're all called OMG.
I think so.
So
Yeah,
how
you
do
might have
people?
OMG bar, OMG club.
I was going to say,
OMG
because they'll be
lane,
like, meet
something
tonight
that.
OMG, and they're like,
Yeah.
which one?
It's horrible, but clubbing is very diverse and mixed there. You know, the good parties.
Okay.
You would kind of, if you like music and clubbing, you'd all meet there really,
Right.
rather than OMG.
I don't blame you. So when you moved to London, where were you going out for this sort of like nightlife career that you've had, a professional partier in a way? A lot of the venues have closed. Like I remember George and the Dragon, a few others that were the sort of institutions.
Yeah.
Where did you hang out?
I loved the Jordan Dragon, and the Joiners would be my my favourite place to go. You could just go there any night of the week and it would be so good.
I had a sexual awakening at the Joiners.
Did you, yeah?
Yeah. So I had a girl...
Tuesday night?
I can't remember what night it was. It could have been any given day, but I had a girlfriend when I was younger. God bless her. We're still on good terms. She's great. And I worked at a store. I worked like retail job in London. And then I'd like go out after work with like the gay mates that I had there.
Right.
And I remember being on the dance floor in the Joiners and seeing like a 3-way kiss. And it was like a new world of wonder. Yeah. It was a real like Alice in Wonderland moment. Like, oh my God. So I have fond memories of the Joiners.
Oh. And then that was the end of you and your girlfriend.
Me, yeah, sadly.
Oh well.
So speaking of that though, because I think, unless I'm really out of the loop, but it feels like it's been a while since really great gay bars have been threatened by like councils and venue closures and like another fucking block of flats being built.
I think that's kind of why Adonis was like such a success, because when I first came to London, you'd go to, like Fabric on a Sunday night was a queer party, and there was so many big clubs that you could go to and as a queer person. But
like mega clubs.
Yeah, but that kind of all ended, and I mean, it was good. You'd go to more like a basement in Dalston, but just with like 70 people or something. Yeah. That was your scene. And then when we started doing Adonis, it was kind of the first East London sort of big club that there'd been in years.
Yeah.
And it just, obviously people really wanted and needed that, because when you go there, it's like all the different tribes are there together, which reminds me of what a club is like in Bristol or in Cheltenham, where I'm from. Like, queer people all gravitate to one space because usually that's the only place that there is.
Yeah.
So Adonis has got that essence really, which is quite nice to see.
Definitely. And speaking of that sort of like, because Adonis it's a real game changer in terms of like inclusivity.
Yeah.
And I think it comes naturally to you in terms of it's not a novelty. You haven't sat down and thought, right, how can we get everybody on the sort of spectrum feel included?
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I think, that's really nice to hear.
Yeah, it doesn't feel forced in any way, which I'm sure at OMG and Bristol it maybe can be. How do you cater to the different people within the community that may have a different definition of a safe space?
I think the safe space thing is there can never be a safe space in nightlife, really. Like, there can be a safer space, but it's so hard to guarantee a safe space, because when you're in a club, or even not in a club, just in life, like, things can sometimes not be safe. But when you're out in a club and people are high or drunk or whatever, like, that opens up a whole new
in terms of like danger zone,
people being dicks or whatever, the night, like, historically the night is kind of a dangerous place, isn't it? Like, it's a lot less of that now, because people are more concerned about safer spaces and being respectful and stuff, which is great. But I don't think you can ever like eliminate that, because you could always get someone who's a dick.
No, I don't think you've ever been like, this is a 100% safe space. If you come here, there'll be no trouble. But I wonder whether over the years, in the different iterations you've seen it, whether you've had to tweak it in any way.
I think just like listen to the feedback from people, and generally, like, we're quite the people who do the door, the people who do the bar, the security, we're all such different people, but the general like common thing that they have is they're just like really nice and like care about the party. So I think that really like rubs off to the people coming as well. Like there's a kind of just a mutual, like a level basically that everyone's on.
Mutual level of respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because dick behaviour breeds dick behaviour.
Totally.
On that dick note, we're going to play a game called Slay or Nay.
Right.
So I'm going to give you a couple
Setting up for this.
Yeah, get ready. I'm going to do the same. Ready? So slay or nay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a couple of nightlife-esque moments from history and present day, and you tell me if they're a slay or a nay.
Okay.
Up first.
I'm not going to offend anyone.
Well,
let's see.
Let's see. Studio 54.
I mean, I'd say a sleigh, like, surely, no?
Slay. I'd love a night there.
I would love a night there, like, on a horse.
Like Bianca Jagger?
Yeah.
Apparently it was only open for like 18 months.
Really?
It's got a similar timeline, like a surprising timeline as the Spice Girls.
Okay.
You know, the Spice Girls were going for like less than 2 years.
I mean, they're still going for me. Like, they've never stopped.
Just not for Victoria.
Yeah.
Fire Festival. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the documentary is a sleigh and the festival is probably a nay.
The experience itself was a nay.
Yeah, but watching it, like,
amazing.
Sleigh. Yeah.
When I think of Fire Festival, I just think of a photo of the piece of bread with the American cheese in the box.
No,
Do you remember that?
I think of the guy, like, giving blowjob for Evian or something.
Oh, like yeah. I remember that.
We've got different minds.
Where is he now, I wonder?
Don't know. Who knows?
I wish him the best. Woodstock.
Woodstock. I don't. Probably the original Woodstock. Sleigh, maybe.
Yeah. And the 99?
The 99 one. And again, like, big nay for me, but a big sleigh to watch.
I have to be honest with you. I don't know if I would enjoy the original Woodstock. I'm not a folk country girly.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'd probably go if I was a Woodstock resident. Is Woodstock a place? I don't know.
I think it is. Yeah, upstate New York.
Okay.
I'd be looking for the closest like Chromatica vibe. I don't think I'd find it there.
I'm sure like that would be Woodstock 2023. No.
Probably. Yeah. Janis Joplin in some latex.
Yeah.
Chic. K-holes.
Again, God, I'm just going to say slay and nay to everything that you ask me. That really depends on where you are and how much you've taken, I suppose.
Yeah, I think
sometimes
so
a slay, and then it can be slay, and then nay.
And it can actually be a nay, because it's a horse. Yeah. Free bars. Again, slay or nay?
I mean, I think nay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the people that go there hate them.
What, like an event with a free bar?
Yeah. I mean, ask me 10 years ago, I'd probably say slay, but now I'm like, do I really want to go there on a Tuesday night? Like,
I think free bars are dangerous.
Yeah.
And then last one, drag brunches.
Ugh, nay.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yeah. It's really, they're like the peplum of the brunch world, aren't they? Remember when everyone just started wearing a peplum? Or like,
what, a peplum skirt?
Peplum skirt, yeah.
What does that look like?
Oh,
is that like a high one that goes out?
Yeah, don't you remember there was like a moment in history when all girls started wearing like a peplum skirt?
When I was in secondary school, there was a moment where everybody was wearing like a Shakira gypsy skirt.
Right.
Do you remember that era with the strappy sandal?
Yeah. That's quite drag brunch.
So we mentioned earlier about you playing sets, and I was listening to your Boiler Room set for Adonis' second birthday.
Okay.
And you opened with the...
Tiffany Pollard.
Oh, I would let Gemma know that she is a fat...
Mm-hmm.
Do you... I mean, that's a classic Hun culture reference there.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on the Huns, and in particular, the Tiffany Pollard and Gemma Collins beef?
I mean, Gemma Collins blocked me on Instagram.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Because you played that in the set?
No. I just told her I didn't like her, that outfit that she wore with the big shoulder pads and the gold.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was like a bronze colour.
Bronze, yeah.
You told her, you sent her a message and said, by the way, you look absolutely...
No, I didn't send her a message. I just commented on it, being like, this is a nay. It's not a slay. And she fucking blocked me.
Did she?
Yeah.
God.
But I don't like her anyway.
Okay, so no bad blood then?
No.
God, Gemma Collins. In terms of being a clubbing professional, what would be your hangover cure?
Probably go back out.
Hair of the dog.
Yeah, or I hate hangovers, so like,
Do you?
it's either in bed for 2 days or go back out. I think that's the only options, really.
I think that's a good stance there. Going back to Adonis a little bit, and that the way the queer community descends on it in all the different ways that the community represents. I was speaking to someone who had particularly strong opinions about circuit gays,
Yeah.
and they've been going to Adonis for years in different venues, and they had a particular stance in terms of circuit gays, making it shift gears in, I think, more of a negative way, and them feeling like it doesn't feel like it used to. I'm all for nightlife and things evolving if it has to.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's a difficult one because, like, I would hate a party where you say yes or no to people on the door, but obviously, like, sometimes you get people that you don't really want there.
Yeah.
Like, what can you do, really? Like, I think maybe that circuit kind of generation is, like, dying out. Like, it's not really a thing anymore with, like, XXL closing and stuff. And, like, the music just was the same for decades, you know, it never changed. So if someone used to go to circuit parties and then they find a club like Adonis or wherever, and they go there and they get their mind expanded a bit.
Right.
Maybe that's good for them.
I like that. Yeah, I like the way you see that, actually.
Yeah. But it is something that I would wish didn't happen.
So it's something you're aware of.
Yeah.
Tell me about your desert island discs. If you were stranded on an island and you had, say, 2 albums to take with you, to last you for, you know, God knows how long, what would they be?
They're probably so basic, but I'd like
We don't mind basic.
the one album that I just is my desert island disc. Like, it's the one I just used to listen to forever. Is Immaculate Collection.
Mariah.
No, Madonna.
Oh.
Babes.
Cancelled.
Like every amazing hit, just all on one record.
Is that like her greatest hits?
Yeah, but it was out in the, I think it's probably 90s now. It's got like...
Has it got the really white album cover?
No, it's like a bluish colour. It's got like every song on there, Express Yourself, Papa Don't Preach, Vogue.
The best
all
of
of
the
them,
best.
yeah.
Um,
I'd probably just take one, just that.
You'd just take that and be happy days. Everyone was going mental for her tickets the other day.
I know.
I was looking at prices and they're up to like 1,500 quid for a seat.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've got like a really good concert hack that I'll share with you. But
Oh, tell me.
yeah,
No one's
it's just
listening.
like you wait till the day and you just go on Gumtree or something like that.
And someone's...
Hope someone's ill and they can't go, and you can buy tickets for like, you know, an hour before the show for
No
pennies.
way.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
went to
we do
see
in the-
Cher for like 30 quid a ticket or something.
No.
My friend was 2 rows in front of me, and he paid like £450 per ticket.
What was Cher like? Was it like the
She was
farewell to the
amazing.
farewell tour?
Yeah, it was like the Last Legs tour. It was so good.
Is that the one where she came out on the elephant?
No, she didn't. I wish that would have worth more than 30 quid. Sure.
Yeah, I think you would have paid that. I want to lastly talk about your view on the relationship between music and fashion. I think depending on where you are, what you've done, it can feel very fluid or it can feel very unfluid.
Yeah.
How have brands or the fashion world engaged with Adonis as a concept, and has it always felt smooth and authentic?
Yeah, I think they're kind of. It can easily feel not authentic, easily, but I don't know. I imagine there's a lot of mood boards out there with like Adonis looks on them, like fishnet and some leather trousers. You know,
Right.
like there's definitely an aesthetic that
Inspires the fashion.
that has made brands kind of want to approach us or like do stuff with us. So I think it can work really well together. Really, like as long as it's the right match.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I don't know if we'll do anything with like, I don't know, what's the Asda brand called?
Georgia Asda.
Yeah, maybe
Never
that could
know.
work. Yeah.
You get a new location, it could be next to a Georgia Asda.
Could be, or we'll close because it's going to be a Georgia Asda.
Very true. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today, Shay.
Yeah, thank you.
I've had a really good chat with you, and see you at Adonis.
See you there in the smoking area.
Yes.